He announced the promotion in front of the entire office, and everyone clapped except me because the person he promoted was the one who stole my ideas and slept through meetings. And the worst part? My boss looked me dead in the eye, smirked. That's when I knew I wasn't just overlooked. I was targeted. Before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you've ever been underestimated. This story will hit hard if you've ever been in a room full of fake smiles and secret betrayals. I joined the company 5 years ago with nothing but a secondhand laptop and a quiet dream to build something real, while others gossiped in the break room and laughed at memes during work hours. I stayed late, skipped lunch, and solved the problems nobody else even noticed. But none of that mattered the day Alan, the guy who once asked me how to send a calendar invite, was promoted to lead strategist. My role, the one I created, the one he knew nothing about. Everyone clapped like it was some kind of victory. Except me. I was frozen, my jaw clenched, my heart pounding. Not out of jealousy, but out of sheer betrayal. I had sent the monthly report, the one with all the growth data and campaign outlines, 2 days ago. Alan's exact words were, "Thanks. Man, I'll take it from here." I thought he meant presenting it. I didn't know he meant stealing it. I looked at my boss. He didn't flinch, didn't blink, patted Alan on the back and said, "This is what leadership looks like." I felt the heat rise in my chest, but I didn't say a word. Not yet, because I'd already printed my resignation letter, and the last line in that letter was about to set the entire office on fire. He called me into his office right after the fake celebration, probably expecting me to congratulate him for making the right call. I didn't. I handed him the envelope. He looked confused for a second, then forced a smile. "Oh, come on, don't be dramatic," he said, laughing like this was some kind of joke. But when he unfolded the letter and read that final line, his face changed completely. I'll tell you what that line said in a second. But first, let me take you back 3 months, because that's when I stopped being an employee and started becoming a problem for people like him. 3 months ago, I had an idea during a team meeting. It's a powerful automation tool that could cut the company's client onboarding time by 70%. I pitched it casually just to test the waters. My boss ignored it, said it was too ambitious, and told me to focus on my actual tasks. But Alan, he overheard. And 2 weeks later, he brought up the exact same idea, just with new colors and fake confidence. My boss loved it, praised it, told Alan to lead the prototype. That's when I knew I had to make a decision: stay silent or start building something for myself. So I stayed late. But not for the company. For me, every night I went home, opened my laptop, and started coding. I hired 2 remote developers from my savings, quietly, silently, relentlessly, while they laughed at happy hour. I was building the very software they rejected. In just 8 weeks, it was ready. And I didn't just build a tool, I built a full SaaS platform, live. Functional beta tested with 5 real clients paying clients. And here's the part that really hurts. One of those clients was our biggest competitor, and the deal I signed with them last Friday, it made me more money in a single day than my entire annual salary here. That's what the last line of my resignation letter said. P.S. The software Alan is now leading, I already launched it. And your biggest competitor just licensed it for 6 figures. My boss's hands shook as he reread that line. He looked up at me, pale and stuttering. I didn't wait for a response. I just smiled and walked out. The moment I stepped out of his office, the entire floor went silent. People noticed the envelope in his hand. They noticed his face like he'd just seen a ghost. Alan stood up from his seat, pretending like he was still the new boss. "Everything okay?" he asked, trying to sound calm, but my boss didn't answer. He just said, "Alan, my office. Now." I could hear raised voices even after I reached the elevator, but I didn't stop. I didn't need to, because I knew exactly what was coming next, and it was going to burn dot by the time I got to the parking lot. My phone started buzzing. First, it was HR, then the assistant VP, then a random number. I didn't even recognize. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I opened my laptop in the car and watched as real-time traffic flooded my platform. Within minutes, my new business Instagram crossed 10,000 followers. One of the tech blogs picked up the story, calling it "The Employee Who Outsmarted His Entire Company and Got Rich Doing It." Meanwhile, back at the office, Alan was sweating. Turns out, when they tried to show the prototype in Monday's leadership meeting, the system wouldn't load. Why? Because it wasn't theirs, it was mine. And I'd quietly revoked all access the night before. Then came this second twist, an email sent to the entire board. From me with attachments, screenshots, code histories, timestamps, even the Slack messages Alan had sent me, asking for help with the code, all the proof. I didn't write a single word. In that email, just the subject line, "Here's what your new leader really contributed." What happened next? Let's just say Alan's promotion didn't last long, but that was only the beginning, because what they didn't know was that someone else much higher up was watching everything unfold, and they were about to make me an offer that would flip the entire company upside down. 3 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost declined it until I saw the company name flashing on the screen. Titan Edge Ventures. One of the biggest VC firms in the country. A calm, sharp voice spoke on the other end. "Mr. Cole, we've been following the situation. Very impressive. Handling, are you free for a meeting?" I thought it was a prank. But 20 minutes later, I was in a high-rise downtown, sipping espresso across from a woman named Dana Carter Sr., its partner at Titan Edge. She slid a folder across the table. Inside was a non-disclosure agreement and a check, a real check, with 7 zeros. Not for investment, for acquisition. "We've reviewed your platform. We want it. But more than that, we want you to lead the next innovation wing at our firm. We'll fund the vision. You keep 60% equity. We'll handle the scale." I froze. A part of me wanted to scream yes on the spot, but something held me back. A quiet thought echoing in my mind. Don't just take revenge, take control. I leaned forward and asked, what if I say no to the acquisition, but yes to a partnership? I don't sell, I lead, you support. She smiled. "You've got guts, Mr. Cole. Let's draw up the paperwork." By the next morning, I was no longer an employee. I was CEO of a new company, funded, protected, and positioned for massive growth. But back at my old job, things were falling apart fast. Clients started pulling out. The media picked up the email. Leak. Alan was fired. And my ex-boss. He was forced to hold a town hall meeting where he tried to paint the whole thing as a miscommunication. But it was too late. His reputation was shredded, and the cherry on top, I anonymously sent a massive bouquet of white roses to the office, with a card that read, "You should have just promoted the right person." And just when they thought it was over, I received an email that would twist the knife even deeper, because someone inside the company wanted to switch sides, and the name on that email was the last person I ever expected. It was Rachel, the boss's golden girl, the one who used to smirk every time I spoke up in meetings, the one who laughed behind my back when Alan got promoted over me. She was the closest to management privy to secrets, strategies, and inside dirt. And now she wanted out. Her email was short but sharp. "I know everything, okay, and I think we can help each other. Can we talk?" I didn't trust her, not even a little. But I was curious, so I agreed to meet my terms in a public place, with a recorder in my pocket just in case. Rachel showed up 10 minutes early, looking nervous. That was new. She didn't waste time. "They're planning to sue you," she said flat out. "They're panicking. They're claiming you developed the software during company hours." I almost laughed, because every single file line of code and time log was saved, timestamped, and done after hours. I had receipts, Literal receipts. But what she said next, that got my attention. They're not just trying to sue. They're trying to discredit you, leak stuff to the press, make it look like you stole from them. I stared at her. And why are you telling me this? Her eyes dropped. Because they used me too. I helped them bury other employees before. I didn't care then, but after what they did to you, I realized I'm just another pawn. I want out, and I want to join you. I didn't respond. I just slid my phone across the table and hit record. Start from the beginning, I said. What have they done? And what she revealed was darker than I ever expected. False firings, stolen projects, manipulated HR reports, and an entire folder of suppressed complaints, some of which could destroy the company's leadership if they ever saw daylight. I leaned back in my seat. Stunned, Rachel looked at me and said, I don't want revenge. I want redemption. Help me build something better. The first time I saw something different in her. Okay? Not fear, guilt. I took a breath. If you're serious, I said, you'll email me everything you have. We'll go from there. That night, she did. Over 80 files. And one video recording that showed Alan and my boss discussing how to frame me if things went south. The next morning, I sent a copy of it to a legal contact at a tech ethics watchdog. No names, just facts. And 24 hours later, the story exploded. Online. My inbox flooded. VCS. Developers, founders, even ex-employees from my old job, thanking me for finally exposing the truth. But then came the final email. Not from Rachel, not from the press, not from my lawyer. It was from him, my ex-boss. The subject line, you think you've won? Meet me.